Hello, my name is Mark McVeigh, and I'm one of your fellow instructors here taking the Royal Roads University course on facilitation for BCREA. And it's been quite an experience going back looking at what we've gone through here in this course. And it took a while for me to come around. I'd say the first 2 weeks I was struggling with the course in terms of my time management and also with whether this was actually going to be able to work in application. So I think I had to suspend some disbelief and set it aside. And it wasn't until week 3 that I started to feel some buy-in and was able to enjoy the course a bit more. So looking forward to instructing my units. I do units 2 and unit 6, but for this I talk about unit 6. Ideas I think I'd have in developing my online course for unit 6 would be a lot about setting the stage right off from day one. That's something that really came out loud and clear for me. To take time to talk about the commitment that's involved by the students, and for myself to yourselves as students, what the commitment would be, which was made pretty clear by our facilitators in this course. To set expectations about what my hours are going to be when you can contact me and how that would happen. So how communication is going to be able to happen via email or phone call, that I will be able to respond back to questions in a 24-hour time period if the questions are relatively urgent. How grading will happen and the expectations for participation and whatnot, so people know if they're contributing in the right way and if they're on the right track. Okay, I think that's very appropriate. I would want to introduce tools for communication and participation during the class as well. So, just like what we used, the journal, Blackboard, Wiki, allowing people to use those tools as well as others. It's really up to their creativity, and I definitely want to encourage people's creativity. I also want to take time to establish that it's a team learning environment, and it's a place where the egos have to be checked in at the door, so we can have a safe, open learning environment where people can feel free to contribute and to make mistakes and to take risks. So, in specific to my unit 6, what the 6 main things that I touch on are sources for buyers, qualifying buyers, financial qualification, the buyer presentation. That's probably my favorite thing I like to do. Select properties to show, and also to be able to analyze buying signals. So what I would try to do is really, and I'm trying to visualize this ahead of time, how I would instruct this course. I think I would begin by interjecting a little bit about myself so that people have an idea about my personality, maybe how I started out as a realtor, some of my challenges working with buyers and some of the fun times I had, and see if I can get people to warm up to me a little bit so they can relate to me by hearing me talk about my experiences as a buyer's agent. I would maybe to get people to start off by using the journal to write out about their experiences at this point with working with buyers, and so they can open up and they can see what other people's experiences have been so far, so there can be some sort of common ground for each of the students to have with one another. Sources for buyers. I think this could be great by breaking people into teams like we've done in our course, to have people write out different sources for buyers on a wiki, for example, where everyone can go on to and contribute, and the whole team can watch that list expand and create a bit of a competition between Team A and Team B. That might work really well there. get people using creativity and video and whatnot to try to demonstrate maybe what they do in trying to find buyers. So we're talking about, say, door knocking. Maybe a person can video themselves door knocking. That might be interesting. And maybe I can do something like that too to try to really pinpoint some key different ways of meeting buyers. So maybe a video of me doing an open house, something like that. Qualifying buyers. Again, I sure like the Blackboard. And Darcy had a really good idea with using Blackboard, and something that I didn't do, but she did recommend it to me, where you could use a Blackboard group and get people talking about the importance of buyer qualification and why a professional may want to qualify their buyer, and have slides come up on the screen on the Blackboard, where I can illustrate, and everyone can see what what's on the screen at the same time as the presentation is going on, and it gives a chance for everyone to contribute face-to-face time with some of their fellow students. People can share their experiences. Allows me to give feedback. I think that'd be very, very helpful as well. Financial qualification. I think the video that I think it was Tony had that was quite helpful. And so financial qualification. Maybe I could get a mortgage broker or someone talking about financial qualification and how they do it, just to get a different perspective, something like that I could post. Maybe I could get the teams to break into groups, into pairs, and for them to produce a series of videos, maybe where they're doing a role play, qualifying a buyer, so we can see each person's interpretation of buyer qualification. That might be interesting. Moving on, buyer presentation. Again, something I really enjoy. I really, again, I really enjoy using the wiki, and this would be a good place for a wiki where people could put in different things that they would incorporate into their buyer presentation, and so each student can see what the other person does. And again, it worked well in our learning environment where we broke into teams and we used the wiki for this purpose, and it was really neat to see this collaboration happen and this end product. I think it'd be great. So I could do that. Selecting properties to show. I think this is where I would use video, so I could show people what I do. What else? What else could I do? And watching buying signals. I think there's that's probably one of the last topics I do is it'd be nice to be able to demonstrate some buying signals, and evidence of body language, and video can be really good to help demonstrate different modes of body language and nonverbal communication, and so that might be really handy. And there again, that's where Blackboard might be really useful as well, because I think again, the students can see one another and they can use their voice intonation, and they can read each other's expressions and whatnot, and that will come across well on Blackboard as well. So that would be another tool I think that could be used. Wrapping up, I think a lot of this has to do with really setting the expectations and setting the stage ahead of time for the students. And I would try to encourage people to be as imaginative as possible, and to take chances and to use their natural creativity, because I think that's where some of the real learning can happen, and that's where I think other people are going to benefit the most, is from learning amongst their peers in a team environment. And I think creativity plays such a major role in that regard in an online learning environment. So I really appreciated having a chance to take this facilitation mini session with all the other instructors. I learned a lot from all of you, and I learned that I have a lot to learn when it comes to adult education and using technology. And I'm nervous, but I'm also quite excited about where the future might take us, and what sort of benefits the future holds for us if we stick with this course. All right, everyone. We'll talk to you later. Bye for now.